Hello, and welcome to new IEDU Day 6 Speaking TOEIC again. So, today we're going to talk about Part 5. Part 5, or Type 5, is propose a solution. So what's going to happen in this part is you will be presented with a problem. This problem is going to not have an easy solution. Then you will have 30 seconds to prepare after you've listened to it, and then you will need to speak for 60 seconds. Some things that you need to keep in mind with this is, number one, make sure you recognize the problem. This is one of the most important parts of Type 5, or Part 5, proposing a solution, is you have to understand what the problem is before you can think of a solution that will actually match it. There could be some situations also where it is very difficult to come up with any solution. In that case, you would need to describe that you recognize the problem at the very least, and then say there is no easy solution. After this, you would need to propose a solution. Now, you need to be strong with this, but you have to support it. It has to be something that could logically happen. In the real world, most of the time, people do not say bippity boppity boo, and just all of a sudden, magically, there is a solution to every problem. So you're going to have to try to come up with a logical approach to solve these given problems. Remembering that TOEIC is aimed at business and survival English. Thinking back to week 1 where we went through the parts of the test, so these problems are going to be related to one of those 12 categories. So let's move into it. Some hints. Number 1, use the preparation time to try to target the problem and think about what would be the best way to solve it. Write these things down. Do not try to keep them in your head. There is a chance when you're taking a test like this that you might actually forget something. Next, one of the best ways to deal with a problem-solution type of question is to answer in the following manner. So this is a formula you can use to help you respond to this question. First, state the problem. Explain what the problem is so that, number 1, if you're in the real world and someone calls you with a problem like this or comes to you face to face with a problem like this, you would want to restate the problem to make sure that you got it correct. If you don't have the problem correct, then there would be a major issue. So you're actually giving the listener, the person who's got the problem, a chance to agree that yes, that is the problem, or to correct you to make sure that you have the correct problem. In the TOEIC, where there isn't actually another person there to agree or disagree with it, this would show the grader that you at least understand the passage that you listened to and you recognize the problem. Then it will show that your issue is not with understanding the problem. Your issue is trying to come up with a business solution for that problem. So you would not lose as many points. Second, list some possible courses of action that could resolve the problem. Possibly there's more than one thing that could be offered as a choice to the person, or maybe one would work better than the other. Next, select a reason you feel that is best for resolving the problem and give the reasons why this is the best, or explain why you think this is something that should be done. Okay, moving forward. Some more hints. Number 1, start speaking when you hear the beep and try to talk the entire time. While Speaking TOEIC does not specifically say that the number of words spoken is part of the grade, completeness is one of the grading points. So if you don't talk the whole time, you could lose some points on completeness. Try to use complete sentences. This is speaking, not conversational English. In the real world and a business English setting, you probably would also want to use complete sentences because you are trying to explain a solution to a customer, not someone you know. So you can't drop information like you would talking to your best friend. An example of this type of thing is that if my wife, who is Korean, talks in Korean to her sister, I do not understand as much as when my wife talks to someone who she does not know. Why? Because she uses a different grammar form, she uses a different vocabulary. She also leaves gaps in what she's explaining because her sister knows what the gap fill is. With a stranger, my wife is much better at fully explaining things. So complete sentences would actually probably be necessary in the real world with this type of question. Next, make sure that you use a wide variety of grammatical forms. Grammar is one of the grading points, as is vocabulary, and they grade on grammatical range. Not just correctness, but grammatical range. So if you only use simple sentences, you will actually have a lower score. Now, the use of a simple sentence is still okay, just don't do it all the time. If you have a simple sentence mixed in every once in a while, it actually adds emphasis because of it's a shorter unit, so it adds an extra emphasis to what you're saying. But try to include simple, complex, compound sentences. If you can, use the passive voice, relative clauses, participial phrases, subjunctive clauses. All of these things are going to help make it sound better and score better in the grammar-related area. Next, try to have an introduction, support, and a conclusion if you're answering a why question for describing something. So possibly you're kind of telling, if you have telling a story, it would be a timeline organization. So if you're telling a story about what this person should do, first you should do this, second you should do this. This is like telling a story. If you're saying why this is the best explanation, try to give your solution, explain why that is probably best, and then conclude it up. Okay? So these are some more hints to help you with this part. Probably part 5 is the hardest part of the speaking TOEIC. So, another strategy. While you're listening to the passage, take notes. This means that you're not trying to memorize the listening. The notes should only be keywords, single words, maybe a short phrase. Do not try to write every word. Also, as you're taking notes, if you do use some Korean, that's fine, but translation can take up a lot of mental energy as you are trying to listen. Listening and translating what's being said can take more time than the passage will actually allow you. During the preparation time of 30 seconds, find the problem and think of a solution. After the beep, start talking. If you cannot think of a solution in the 30 seconds, start explaining the problem. There's 2 reasons for this. Number 1, maybe you'll find a solution as you're talking. That would be the ideal situation if you don't think of one during the 30 seconds. It does happen where something pops into your head. Go with it, okay? If it doesn't, at least you have something on the tape for the grader to grade. If you leave a blank and you go, during the question, it is very hard for the person who is grading this part of the test to give you points. This is true for all the parts of the test, but it is especially true for this one where if you don't have a solution, it has happened in the past where students just totally shut down. Do not do this. Try to get as many points as you can. If you don't have a solution, you will lose relevance and completeness points, but you can still get pronunciation, intonation and stress, vocabulary, grammar, and possibly cohesion points. So don't quit on the question. Just explain the problem. And once you get done explaining the problem, if you still haven't thought of a solution, just say, I have not thought of a solution. This person is in trouble, and I don't know what they should do. Possibly I would refer them to someone, try to have them call someone else. That actually is a solution. Call someone else. It's not a solution the person asking you would like to hear, though. So let's take a look at this. Here is the first problem. Now, I am leaving the words on the screen so that you can read it and think about it as you are listening to it. So you would actually hear on the test, "Hello, this is Denise Perlman. I was shopping recently in Rocky Ripple and someone stole my purse. I am a tourist who is only here for 1 more week, and my passport, traveler's checks, visa, money, and credit cards were all in my bag. I am staying at the Rocky Hotel on Elm Street and do not have enough money left to pay for my room. If you could please call me and let me know what I should do. The number here is 555-4321, and I am in room 502. Thanks." So, you listen to this. Now you have 30 seconds. The first thing you need to do, what is the problem? So, the problem here is a tourist. Tourist Denise Perlman. I know she's a tourist because she's lost her passport and visa. She has lost everything when someone stole her purse. She's lost passport and visa, which means she cannot leave the country. She's also lost traveler's checks, money, and credit cards. So she probably does not have any money, and she doesn't have a way to leave the country. She does say does not have enough money to pay for her room. She does not say she has no money, just not enough to pay for the room. So, what should this person do? Solution. First of all, when you lose your passport and visa, the first thing you should probably do is call your consulate or embassy for that country. You'll probably have to go there in person. Hopefully it's in the city you're in, but if it isn't, you might still need to get there. That is going to be one step, and they will help you get a temporary passport so you can leave the country, and probably talk to you about how to get a visa to get out of the country. Money-wise, now cash money, which would be money, is gone. There is no way that it's going to be found unless they catch the person with the money. The police would probably ask how much money, so that if they do catch the person with the bag, they can actually replace it. But probably is gone. Credit cards and traveler's checks. Now, credit cards, if you call a credit card company and report a credit card stolen, they will cancel that number. First they will actually check to see if it's been used recently, since you reported it stolen, and then they will cancel the number, and they'll put the number on the police watch list for the country it was stolen in. So this would allow and get you a new credit card. You would probably still be responsible for at least part of the charges if they came in before you reported it. So the quicker you can call the credit card company, the better. The police would probably have numbers for you to call with that. Traveler's checks. Well, traveler's checks actually are the same thing. If you report them as stolen and you report the numbers as stolen, part of what you're buying with the traveler's check that makes them slightly more expensive than just changing money is a little bit of security. If you report them and then those numbers are stolen, you can have traveler's checks reissued. So traveler's checks and credit cards are much safer to carry than money. And since traveler's checks are only supposed to be changed at a bank, they are safer. Okay? So there is a way for her to get enough money to pay for the room through credit cards and traveler's checks. There is a way for her to get her passport and visa back. And if she has not called the police, she should call the police. So this is what you would go through as you're talking about it. You don't have more than 30 seconds to think about it, which is actually one of the problems. So, let's take a look at this. OMG, I can't think of a solution. Don't panic. What you need to do is explain the problem and possible results of the problem. Once you have done that, you might be able to actually think of a solution. In the last situation, there is a chance, if you've never used traveler's checks before, maybe you are not aware of what their power is and why people use them when traveling. The stolen purse is the exact reason why people use them when they're traveling. So the biggest thing for the test is to try not to panic. Okay? Moving forward to the next situation. I've got two more situations. Keep this in mind. Can't think of a solution? Don't panic. At least explain the problem and possible results of the problem. On the next one, I will read the passage and then I'll give you 30 seconds without me talking to try to think of a solution. And then I'll give you a little bit of time to actually say your problem and solution. Then I will go through it and then we'll flash to the next slide. So there will be some blank time here after I read the passage. Here we go. Hello. I am calling about the reservation I made with your restaurant last month. When the reservation was made, we were given a quote of $15 a head for our company investor dinner. We have budgeted for this number and have included your restaurant's name in the program for the event. However, yesterday you sent us an email that said that the restaurant would not be able to accommodate our group unless we paid an additional $5 per person for the dinner. We had completed the budgeting and do not have the money in the budget and cannot afford it. We need your assurance that the price is really the price in the quote, or we will be forced to take our business elsewhere. You have 30 seconds. And start talking. And stop talking. That was 30 seconds of preparation time and 1 minute of talking time. How did you do? Okay, let's go through the problem and solution here. First of all, the problem is that the restaurant has raised prices from $15 to $20 per person for a group dinner. And the company that is doing it is not happy about this and does not have the money budgeted. It would be very possible if they have 100 people showing up, $500 increase would make a budget almost impossible. So this is a very, very possible situation. So what is the solution to this if you are the restaurant taking this phone call? The solution is probably best to explain why it was raised $5 per person and why the notification only happened 1 day before or 1 week before the event. Now, this is going to be a problem. So, if you have raised all of your prices on everything that much for a reason, such as gas prices going up, the price of vegetables going up, the price of meat going up, that kind of thing, and that industry-wide this has happened, that would be a reason for the problem. If you're just jacking up your prices, that is not a good reason. So you would have to show that. First off, possible solutions might include explaining that the $20 per person is making it so that you are breaking even, where earlier, when last month when the prices were lower, $15 a person included a profit for the restaurant. Possibly you could offer to take a loss to help cut the prices, but you don't want to take too big of a loss. So possibly you could say, it is possible for us, this is our break-even price that we've given here. This has happened. All of our prices on everything have gone up $7 per item so that we still have some margin to make a profit. However, since we had given a quote, we would be willing to negotiate this price a little bit, possibly going down to $17 per person. And so they have to pay a little bit more, and you are losing money. Offer to let them out of the contract if they cannot do it, to find another restaurant. They might be able to try to hold you to it depending on how solid the quote was, if it was like a contract. If it was just a quote, probably would be okay. So this is kind of the thought process to finding a solution to this problem. Oh man, you couldn't think of a solution. Once again, this is the same thing. Don't panic. Explain the problem, the results of the problem, the reason why the problem is happening, and then go through. There is not an easy solution. That is an okay way to handle this. There is one more example here, and what I would like you to do is listen to the passage and then take 30 seconds to think, and then try to talk for 60 seconds, just like last time. So I will have the timer going, and just like I did for the last problem. So is everyone ready? And listen. Hello. I'm calling about a problem I am having with the intercom for my apartment. There is no sound when someone pushes the button for the outside door. This is a problem because I have missed several time-sensitive packages that were delivered while I was home. Yet I still did not receive them when I should. The problem was brought to my attention when one of the delivery people called me and asked what to do with the package. I would like to have this problem fixed as soon as possible. And 30 seconds. And start talking. and stop talking. Okay, so first of all, what is the problem? The problem is someone in an apartment complex has an intercom that is not working. And they are missing time-sensitive packages. Time-sensitive means that they have to be received within a certain time frame. So they needed to get them right then. So this is the issue that this person is running into. The solution to the problem is probably twofold. First of all, probably have a repairman come and look at the intercom and try to fix it. There would probably be a cost involved, either for the repairman to come out or for the repairs themselves, possibly also including replacing the intercom unit. If it's inside the apartment, the cost would be picked up by the person who lives there. If it is the outside door intercom that is the problem, it would probably be picked up by the owner of the building. Now, there is a second thing that this person should probably do, and that is include a note when they make a time-sensitive order that the delivery person call the apartment when they arrive if the intercom is not answered. This is to make sure that there aren't any other missed things, as that was something that was a workable solution before. So as you can see, there is a problem, there is a solution, but you have to think of it fairly quickly. And that's where not panicking will help. If you start panicking, there is no way you're going to be able to think of a solution. Explain the problem, results of the problem. There is a chance that a solution is very obvious, like they found out about missed packages and the intercom not working when the delivery person called them. Well, why aren't you having all the delivery people call you if that's the problem? So sometimes the answer is actually in the passage. Okay, homework. There is one more here. I would like you to record a 1-minute solution to the following problem. I will read the problem so you can listen to it and read it. Then upload your file to the LMS at Dongguk University. It is worth 10 points. This will be graded upon completion, so to prove that you did it, okay? So we will be checking to make sure that it's there and that it is long enough and that you've actually done what you need to do. Here is the problem that we would like you to respond to. Hi, I recently ordered 3 pairs of shoes from your company's online website. The first pair arrived at my house a week ago, and I had an invoice for all 3 pairs of shoes, but all 3 pairs of shoes were not in the shipment. I decided to wait and see if the others would arrive because the invoice said that items were shipped separately. A second pair of shoes came late yesterday and a third pair today, but they were not the same pairs I ordered and that were listed on the invoice. The second pair was the wrong color as well as the wrong size. The third pair that you shipped to me were pink and yellow children's rain boots, and not the designer pair of pumps which I paid for. I am extremely upset by this situation and would like it fixed as soon as possible. My name is Cheryl Grummond, and I can be reached at 555-7764.